Hey, what's up guys? Everything Apple Pro here. Today, iOS 14 Beta 2 was launched. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's new, what's inside, and I've counted over 60 features and changes, so a lot to get excited about here. Now, overall, the iOS 14 beta program has been fantastic. One issue that I've noticed is a stutter, a hang once in a while it would appear, and so far in just 4 or 5 hours of using iOS 14 Beta 2, it's been overall fantastic, and that stutter has not been present on my iPhone. So number one change is that the stutter issue, especially when typing in with the keyboard, that input lag has been resolved. Now there are tons and tons of new icon changes in iOS 14, little glyphs here and there. So I'll capture the biggest ones, but just want to let you know there are so many, I'm not going to go through every single one. And new in iOS 14, only visible when updating to Beta 2, you cannot be playing audio out of your iPhone while updating. A very strange request. I don't see why iOS couldn't cancel that on its own. And two icon changes on the home screen. The clock app now features more prominent watch hands. I think they're more reminiscent of the Apple Watch. Very cool. Adds a little bit more depth. Also, the calendar icon now features a bolder number and an abbreviated day. So instead of Tuesday, spelling it out, it now features a larger TUE. An interesting change in the status bar on the charging indicator, so on that little battery icon, the lightning bolt, which indicates charging, is now larger, more prominent on Beta 2 on the right here. I do like this one. Picture-in-picture on iOS 14 Beta 2 now has different sizing settings. So a double tap now has 3 modes, where before it would only have 2, so now that's the largest. Double tap to go to medium, and then double tap again to go to smallest. And on this one, you'll just get kicked into the largest, so pretty cool to have more adjustment there. Also, when the picture-in-picture player is hidden, you can now kick it out just by clicking on the little tab. Previously, you'd have to drag it out, so it wouldn't work with the same control. It's pretty cool that they added that. When using any app that uses the camera, and then going into the control center to see the recording indicator, this little green dot, the icon here for that is now different. It's using the camera icon from FaceTime instead of the old one. Now on the home screen, when entering edit home screen mode here, and when you select that little minus icon, the option has changed from add to library to remove from home screen. This is to ease any confusions. Now if we do go ahead and remove that app or remove from home screen. Now for certain stock system apps, you no longer have the option to remove the app from within the app library. Apple has removed that. This is not the case for third-party apps, just select system stock apps. Also within the app library, Apple has done some organization here. Reference and reading has been relocated, social is in its place. So the orders are slightly different here. And in the dedicated widgets page, the legacy widgets on the very bottom for all of your old apps, here they have a new view, so slightly been condensed, made to look more in line with Apple's new widgets. One thing I've noticed in the same widgets page after updating is that a Smart Stack widget was applied automatically to the top. I'm not sure if this is the case for everybody, but for me, I noticed this on 2 devices. A nice little aesthetic change. When adding widgets, the button on the bottom will now be selective of the color of the widget or content inside of the widget. And when editing a Smart Stack widget, now the interface looks slightly different. So the Smart Rotate button sits on top now. There's an X button to X out of this menu, and the card itself is now rounded, more in line with iOS. And there's now a new Files widget in Beta 2, available in 2 sizes, large and supermassive. And this will show you your most recent files. Takes a while to populate, but that's what it'll look like right there. You can jump into those real quick. And for the Photos widget, there's now a new size, also supermassive, previously unavailable. So I think it's a 4x4 in widget size. And yeah, just look at your photos in even larger detail. The Notes widget has also been reworked. It now features a prominent Notes badge up top, and the information inside is slightly condensed, so you can see more info now that it's smaller. And the large weather widget has been fixed, where previously it would just sit on Cupertino weather no matter where you were. That's been resolved. 2 is the view for the icons here has been enhanced, so slightly larger, but getting clipped. More work to be done. Whenever there's an action that's about to happen with the weather, you'll see this little preview right here, where previously it would just give you a static display of what's going on. So it's nice. This will switch back to that view after a little while. And the Siri Suggestions widget now depicts the active number of notifications for a certain application, which it displays in here. Previously, it would not. And for the smaller Reminders widget, 2x2, it'll now display the first reminder in text form here instead of just the number of reminders that you have. So it becomes even more useful. In Reminders, lists with an emoji for the icon now have a nice little border for it. slightly different view. And this is where my microphone decided to call it quits, so voiceover from here on out. So in the control center, there's now a reworked home app tile. It's much larger. I like this one less. On the right side, it seems to be some sort of adaptive tile. Depending on what you use most, you're going to see something different here. I've seen multiple different versions already. In the full screen home favorites view, the titling has been reworked here, different color and slightly smaller icon. And the home scenes section has been removed entirely from this full screen view. As for the icons on these individual tiles, you can see they've all been made slightly smaller and the fonts have been reduced as well. In the control center, the new sleep mode tile, when pressed, now shows teal instead of that dark blue. The new paste security feature in iOS 14, the interface for it has been made slightly smaller. It now shows more text and it'll show the respective device where you're pasting from. For example, Mac Pro. In music, in multiple pages, we see many changes to text and formatting for the options. For example, the buttons up top have been moved apart slightly. Titling has been made more pleasant. In music, the bottom navigation bar icons have all been slightly adjusted, all the sizings and positioning. In the search portion of music, you can see that categories have been slightly reworked. There's an additional long horizontal option, and many of the other categories have been repositioned. When haptic touching within music, there are a couple icon changes, one to the play icon and another to the love icon. They're now outlines instead of solid colors. A very pleasant change is the addition of haptic touch within the music application. Now when skipping or pausing your music, you'll feel a very subtle vibration. And there's a really cool reveal animation in the music application when haptic touching certain things. As you can see, compared to beta 1 on the left, I like it a lot more. In the music settings, Show Apple Music is gone by default. That's just always there now. And there's also a new category for motion in music settings, and two settings, Wi-Fi only and completely off. This is for the new animated covers within music. They do demand more battery life and slightly more data, hence the Wi-Fi only option. In podcasts, on the bottom navigation bar, browse and library options have swapped places. In settings, within the wallpaper preview, the widgets are now representative of the actual widgets and the data they pertain on your home screen. Pretty cool, nice little touch versus just placeholders. In Wi-Fi settings, there's now a new warning for privacy warning, which will let you know what this feature is and whether or not you're connected to it. In settings, within Apple ID settings, there's a new icon for family sharing. Very modern. You'll see the same icon within the App Store splash screen for family sharing, which lets you know to set that up and what it is. Within the phone settings, there are new icons for incoming calls and announce calls categories. There's a new behavior when holding the back icon to shortcut into different pages. Now, without removing your finger, it'll shortcut you directly into the first option, or you can drag down and select any others. The dictation interface has been updated, now with even bolder lines. When location services is disabled in Maps, now the little icon up top looks different. And within Maps, you're now able to access guides for select locations. This was unavailable in beta 1, but now for San Francisco, for example, there are multiple guides pre-made, which give you a tour of the city without ever being there. Some slight interface changes when navigating by bicycle, and you can no longer avoid stairs. That option has obviously been removed for bicycle owners. A couple changes to the Maps application for users in other countries. One, alerts for congested areas that charge tolls, and two, a feature coming soon is possibly navigate by license plate, certainly limited to certain areas. The weather application will now specify exactly where it's pulling the weather from. For example, in San Francisco, now it's even more precise down to the street. Within messages, there's a larger image picker view. It's a little glitchy at the moment. And within the full screen view, it'll now show you the limit of photos you can send. For example, here, 20 items. In Safari, within the toolbar, the tracking report option has been renamed to privacy report, and inside you can actually click on the trackers option now. Previously, that was not working. In the Translate application, when selecting a language, you'll now see the country of origin listed below that language. Pretty nice little touch. And for HomePod beta firmware testers, you can now change the default music service, such as from Apple Music to Spotify and podcasts as well. Also, below in automations, there's a new option to add an automation below the pause when last person leaves option. And for iPad users, you can now reorganize or remove entirely the option for the silent mode switch in the control center. It's something that I personally use a lot, so I don't see myself removing it, but it's nice that Apple gives you that option. As you can see, Removing it, it's no longer present. Also on iPad, in the Photos application, there's a new section in the sidebar for utilities where imports, hidden photos, and recently deleted photos are listed. Apple has also included a new hand washing article within the Health application, which details how to do it properly and more information. Also revealed in code within iOS 14 Beta 2, 9to5Mac has found evidence that Apple is introducing a QR code payment system for Apple Pay. Unclear on the details or how to enable it, but it is coming. And just for kicks, I ran Geekbench 5 on both betas. Beta 2 revealed a much higher multi-core score, single core was identical. As for performance on Beta 1, I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. It was very good. Battery life was only about 10 to 15% worse than on iOS 13.5, but overall, for a first beta, I was very impressed. I'll report back on Beta 2 in the next beta video. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more. Peace.